Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. How's my sound? How's my sound? All right. All right. Come on now. Make sure you like sharing this. Make sure you are liking, sharing this. This is a continuation of our last live. And I want to make sure that lighting's good. Okay. Okay. I don't know. I don't like my lighting, guys. I don't like my lighting. Okay. I had to switch up on the I had to do a little switch up here. But are you ready for a good show today? Are you ready for a good show today? Uh-oh. Oh, come on, baby. What are you doing over there? All right. No shades on today. Oh my goodness. I have no shades on today. Where's my shades at? John, bring my shades over here. But John's not here. All right, guys. So you got the ones in the chat. You're making sure. Listen. Make sure you are liking and sharing this. Make sure you are liking and sharing this, and make sure you're hitting that super chat. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Without any further ado, let me bring on my co-host, Christal Jordan Jenkins. Christal, good morning.
Good morning. And that's Christal Jordan Jennings. Thank
Jennings.
you. Jennings. Yes.
CJ, forgive me. I'm sorry, man. Listen. I'm so used to, it's going to be good.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Good. Happy Thursday, Dennis. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, Christal. Happy Thursday. So some interesting things are happening later on today. I don't have my shades on today.
I know. You look very serious today.
I'm very serious, but I have a serious things happening today.
We do.
No, I have something happening. I'm sharing this with you for the first time.
Okay.
I am going in for eye surgery today.
Oh, are you serious?
I'm very serious.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Dennis. Okay.
Yeah, going in for eye surgery today. But I'm pumped up, fired up, and ready.
We're going to be good. We're going to be sitting.
I had to be able to see what's about to happen today. So I don't know what the doctor's going to be doing later, but I want to make sure you see me and I see you.
And okay.
No,
okay.
So
you're gonna be good.
Let's get into this. So as the thumbnail states, we're talking about Jonathan Majors and his fighting back. He's fighting back. Obviously, he's been charged in New York with misdemeanor assault, and there was a strangulation charge, but that was removed back in March. But he's filed a lawsuit in the last 48 hours, and he's suing his accuser for domestic violence and assault. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts are this. I think we can see there's a lot of hypocrisy in the justice system when it comes to men and women, right? We can't even, before you even add in the racial issue, just men and women. A lot of times women are automatically believed and seen as the victim just because they are, a lot of times smaller in stature and looked at as the weaker sex. But over the years, we've seen numerous cases where women have used that to their advantage and have been able to get people, lie, make fraudulent charges because of their emotions, right? And everybody knows that knows me knows I'm an advocate for women. However, we've talked about many cases where women have claimed rape and it was not true. And later, nothing happens. A lot of times when men are so afraid of dealing with the justice system that they just allow their false accusers to have their way and they don't fight back. So in this case, if Jonathan Majors is telling the truth and that situation was, as he says, then I think it speaks to his innocence that he would fight back, because I think, these accusations and what he allegedly did to this woman has cost him sponsorship, his relationship with the U.S. Army, potentially movie projects, and just basically been extremely detrimental to his career outside of just his public reputation. And so if they are false, I do think that he should fight back, because I think we have to set some precedents to where people know that if you make fraudulent claims against someone, there is a there's going to be consequences and repercussions for that. So if he's telling the truth, then I definitely believe he's doing the right thing by seeking having her holding her to the fire and taking her to court.
And I'm wondering, based on no eyewitnesses, this is a misdemeanor case.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the prosecutor or Mr. Braggs pursuing this case when there was some statements made by his accuser? She's apologizing,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
why are they moving forward where uh, there's unless they're going by what other people say, and I don't know how significant that is with this case because the other people have come out allegedly and made some claims.
Mm-hmm.
However, how's that relevant to this particular situation and what occurred in the cab that night? And will the
Right.
cab driver come in and testify that he didn't see anything? Because he's obviously a key witness.
Right. The only witness outside of Jonathan and the young lady. That's interesting because I think it's kind of there. It's a double-edged sword because if a lot of times people that are accused of domestic abuse and things like that, they do have a history of it, right? So on one hand, I see how if there are other people that have experienced this, it could definitely be seen as a testament to the person's character, right? Especially when you don't have any other witnesses, right? Being able to say if you have someone else that done that. But we also know in this age of social media that other people come forward with more fraudulent claims because that gives them a shot at being popular or being in front of the media. And so I think this is an opportunity for people to see that if you are making false claims, you could be held accountable. I mean, we've seen that happening recently, and I think that's a good thing. So even for these other women that allegedly, have said things, I think everyone's case should be handled separately because you really need to know, are they lying or are they just coming because there's the opportunity for some acknowledgement and opportunity.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And I think that there's a political component to this as well, because again, this is a high profile misdemeanor case. He's not facing jail time. Like, if we want to be honest,
Right.
he's not facing any jail time.
Right.
The most that he would face in a conviction would be probably probation.
Yeah, but you got to look at what it's done to his career, and so I think that's an opportunity too, because new. I mean, he's lost probably millions of dollars, in projects that were already on, that he was already working on, and then I mean, I don't even know how you could forecast how much money he could have made if his career continued to go the way it was going without this, without being besmirched with this case. So I think, this is a great opportunity for a lawyer to set a new precedent, because you got to realize we always talk about this, when people are accused of something, specifically Black men, the voices and the anger is very loud. Later, when those cases are ruled inconclusive, or that there wasn't enough evidence, or even that the person was lying, that's always very quiet. I know we've talked about people like Chris Brown. He's an easy target, right? So when a girl accuses him of rape, it's very loud, and it just makes people assume, well, he's known for being violent. But later, when a lot of those cases have been dismissed as as fraudulent, or not enough evidence to prove anything, people never hear about that, right? So we've heard this has basically damaged his career, his reputation in the eyes of movie writers and producers. And if it comes out that this was not true, that would be very quiet. So I think the fact that we need to trump up the voice when people are found innocent is really needed, because the damages are just inconclusive to what can happen to someone's career once people see them as problematic, even if the charges are true or not.
Well, there's a upside to this, and that is his leading lady, Megan Good. She's standing by him. She's definitely been appearing at his court hearings. And this happened in New York, his last hearing, and I heard a brother, I heard a brother-in-law speak on it, and she, according to him, she has a good sense of character in dealing, in people she deal with. So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to help. And the other part to that was it was alleged that he was communicating with someone else. Was it Megan or who was it? Because he definitely was on the scene not too long after.
Well, that definitely was not too long after. And honestly, from my perspective, as a publicist, I'm always very skeptical of these romances that come in the right when something is going on with a person's public image, right? Because a lot of times we know the idea of a power couple, specifically in this case, a Black power couple, could work to kind of sway or at least to pull in an audience, that he did not have before. We know that he was the lady that he was with when this situation happened was not African American. So I don't know. I don't know that that helps or hurts.
Is that the reason the racism charges in the civil suit? You think that do you think that he's claiming that she's a racist?
I don't think they think that he's claiming that she's a race. Well, a lot of times in interracial couples, race is used as a card when things go badly, right?
Absolutely.
But what I think is that I just was a little skeptical about the relationship because his past suggests that he dates outside of his race. And I know that it's really important that public perception.
What do you think? They're faking their love? I mean, come on. You think that Megan Good would ruin her reputation, align herself with this man if this relationship wasn't good? She believed him.
I don't know. I do know that the power couple is a powerful strategy, and I also know that oftentimes couples are put together because it's a good look, and they end up actually dating and falling in love. That's happened in the past as well. I've been a part of some of those. I'll keep which ones under wrap, but I have seen that happen before where two people were put together because she had the artist hadn't done anything wrong, but she just didn't have a great public perception. So we put her with an artist that was on the top of the world at that time. And it definitely changed her perception. They actually started to date, and there were feelings that that got involved. So that can happen as well. I'm not sure. I'm really not even concerned about the Megan Good situation so much as I am if this is false and he was accused falsely because maybe he was no longer interested in this young lady that he had been seeing, and she responded by making false accusations. Then we need to set precedents in place so that men are protected as well.
I agree. So yesterday, legendary hip hop star Mele Mel, old school head, was arrested in Los Angeles at the I believe the Intercontinental because of a alleged claim by former dancer Jury Jordan. And we do have some footage on that. I want to play that real quick. Make sure that I don't play the wrong thing here. Let's go.
I'm telling you, and I'm not on no viral shit or nothing. I'm an honest person, and I love love, and I love being in love. But this man hates me, and he fucking wants to go to jail instead of fucking help me and come to the hospital. He's a dick. Remember when I dislocated my knee and you? Okay.
Okay, so that's the scene where she was in the hotel room. But if you listen carefully, she's saying a few things, and it's kind of like he called the police. She's upset with him because he didn't want to take her to the hospital. But she also, in another video, said that she had previous eye injury
before she got there.
So what prompted because it also looked like she was recording, but she wasn't recording. It doesn't appear she was recording for the protection of Mel. So when they kept telling the video, "Come on, let's go."
Still on the video. Um, there was also text messages, and that's the beauty of today's technology. There's text messages where she's asking him to come see him. He did not go after her. She asked to come see him. They obviously had a relationship years ago.
Right.
Haven't spoken in years. He was there for the 50th celebration of hip hop for the BET Awards. That's why he was out in LA. And she lives in LA, and she asked to come see him, actually begged in the text messages, please. And what's interesting to me is one of the things in her text message, she said, I'll be good. I promise I'll be good. Right. So that lets me know that there's a history of her not being good. Now, we don't know what that means, but there's a history of there being some reason that he may not want to see her. When he, acquiesced and allowed her to come, this happens. And then we also learned that she had eye surgery or some procedure done to her eye a few days ago.
She said she was involved in a car accident or something.
Yeah, and it was her cornea was damaged. This is another situation. I think the opportunity to go viral, and it's interesting that she said that. She said, this is not about going viral. To me, whenever you bring something up, I heard someone said the other day, it's like whenever someone tells you something, that's always like a girl will say, I'm a sweetheart. And it's like, a guy will say, oh, I'm not a player. And it's like, are you not? So for her, just putting that out there, lets you know that she was already understanding that this would be seen in a different way. I can't make a judgment. This is all allegations. However, what is fact is the text messages for her asking to come see him, the fact that he called the police, and the fact that she had already damaged her eye when she tried to suggest that he was the one that tried to punched her in the face. So,
well, what she said was he had some cheap rings on, and he backhanded her in the eye. He had to know it. So I don't know how that is first of all, it seems like from the video, it seems like she had an axe to grind.
Yes.
It appears that she had an axe to grind.
Mm-hmm.
And, you putting this hip hop legend on video, and you're both were seen at the BET Awards.
Mm-hmm.
And now you don't want to go viral, but you're actually live. You're live in the, come on. Now, how many people go? Well, I won't say how many people go live. In this age, a lot of people go live.
Everybody goes live, right? Yeah. But in that situation, you're doing it because you want attention, and you know that you would be able to get it because of him. I don't know what I also think that, when I first read the headlines, I was shocked. And you got to realize a lot of times headlines, people get very connected to the emotions of what they've seen in the past. So when you see that he was arrested for punching a woman in the face, and we just saw a man on Instagram, go viral a few days ago for punching a woman, it automatically made me think, oh my God, but then as I started to read more, that's why I think it's really important for programs like this and the type of reporting that, you do, Dennis, and that I do as well, to kind of show people like you can't jump to conclusions based on emotion. You have to listen to the story. You have to see the backstory. The fact that they had a relationship years ago adds a little bit of context to that. The fact that, he did not reach out to her. She asked him, could she please come over, and then said, I'll be good. All these things add context. So before we jump to conclusions based on the emotion of thinking a man that's in shape, because one thing about Mele Mel, he hits them weights. He's always in shape. You know what I mean? The idea of seeing a man hit a woman, you can't just jump to conclusions on that. You have to listen to the entire story and get the facts.
And the other thing we do know is Melvin Glover, his brother, Kid Creole, was convicted in New York of manslaughter a couple of years ago, as a result of a stabbing that happened in somewhere downtown Manhattan. I think he was going to work, and there was some kind of exchange, and there was a fight that ensued. So just the but this happened in the West Coast, and the fact of the matter, Mel's never, and I know Mel, fair disclosure, I grew up with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I never knew Mel to get in trouble with anyone. So this is kind of crazy. I knew his ex-wife and everything. So I just hope this works out. It doesn't seem like the process. I don't think they will probably pursue this, just based on text messages, and But again, once they make the arrest, because domestic violence is so serious and people lose their lives, they at least have to investigate this.
Yeah. I mean, I think they should, but I think it also, like I said, we should be just as loud if it's not true as we are if it is. So, you know.
And talking about loud, I want to play a video. I want to play a video. I want to. I want to get into this whole Tasha Case
Yeah.
uh, bankruptcy hearing, but someone sent this to me. I thought it was interesting. I'm going to play it right now.
YouTube. That ain't even all my income. That's a portion. What does that tell you? And I don't even have to be on YouTube for more than an hour twice a week. Still feel bitch. What does that tell you?
That tells me that you might have more money than
you're suggesting.
Well, let's put this video in context. She was going ham on another YouTuber by the name of the lead attorney, and he was saying he makes $27,000 a month, and according to her, that's chump change.
Yeah.
And this is, I want to say, guys, in the comment section, I think this was probably before the trial started, but she was pretty much boasting that she makes, she always have to go live for 2 hours,
2 hours,
or 1 hour, 2 hours. But I don't know when we listen to the hearing, when they asked about all these companies, and I want to play it one more time because I want to make sure I heard that correctly. I just want to play it one more time.
That's what you're going to have to do, bitch. I would be upset. I would be upset. So I got multiple companies. $27,000 a month as an attorney. That's a slow month. That is a...
It's interesting. There's a rule of thumb that I live by. And I think, when usually what brings people down is their own ego, right? And there's this idea, I know most people have abandoned this, but there used to be back in the day when people were making a lot of money, specifically when they were making it under the table. They knew that being flashy would be the thing that would bring them down. And actually, an American Gangster, you see Denzel's, his character, Frank Lucas, is like low key. His wife brings him this mink, and the mink coat and hat gets so much attention that he ends up being investigated and ultimately going down for that. And I think that if we look specifically at our culture, usually what gets people hemmed up is the fact that they can't remain humble. Their arrogance and their ego. There's a scripture in the Bible that says pride goes before a fall. And that would definitely seem to be what we see playing out in front of our eyes. That's unfortunate. I can't, even if you're not in trouble, I don't think that it would ever be smart to broadcast that. We live in an era where there's scamming, there's robbing, there's crime. Like, who wants to let people know exactly what they have in their bank account? Because that's going to attract the right attention and the wrong attention. So it's just interesting to see that old adage, is still true, still rings true.
And to your point, we are actually watching a trial involving Young Thug and Gunna's removed from their case, but their lyrics are being used as evidence in criminal proceedings. Yeah. So if their lyrics is being used as evidence in criminal proceedings and they are entertainers, well, Tasha K says she's an entertainer as well. But those videos, can those videos be used as evidence? And what part of the truth is in that video, and what part would that be used later on? Because I didn't even see this video until a couple of days ago.
Well, we did that live the other day, and what's interesting is so many people came forward with with all kinds of evidence. Information about the app that wasn't true.
We're going to get into that, and I brought some receipts. I bet this. Now this is important. During our live, the app was changed during our live.
Oh, wow.
According to multiple people, the app description, where it had a husband name at the bottom of the app, was removed, and it was placed with another company by Mona Lisa something. And I don't want to say something. I want to go and pull it up. We don't have to say something anymore. We're going to just pull this up. Let's see what we got here. Zoom that in. Can you see it?
Yeah, his name is removed.
His name is removed. His name is removed, and this is important.
Do you have the other screenshot with his name there?
I think I do. I think I do. Hold on a second. I got. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Maybe that. Wait, hold on. This might be it. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now you see him.
Now you don't.
Now you don't. Wow. Now you see him. Now you don't. Okay, so here's the problem with this. Here's the problem with this, ladies and gentlemen. This was done during our live. This was literally done during our live. Obviously, a lot of people watching, attorneys and maybe investigators and different people watching our live.
Mm-hmm.
But did she not know that there would be people, not you or I, screenshot watching it? So this is important because I sent a series of tweets out yesterday, and I pretty much sent some of the excerpts from the bankruptcy code relating to fraud.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest crimes that are prosecuted in the bankruptcy case is people hiding funds and deception. I don't know if you've been following my tweets. Hopefully you are, because I'm following yours. But I pointed out that this is a form of deception.
Yeah.
Now, you weren't doing this. This wasn't for a show. And we were on live at around 11 in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And it appears that maybe her husband said, listen, you got to get me out this app. Distance me from this app. But that may be a problem. Maybe he changed it. Maybe he does the production. So this is important. How do you first say to the trustee, well, better yet, the Cardi B's attorney, Attorney Moon, that what app? You don't know anything about an app. But this app will just change literally less than 8 hours from the hearing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that seem like there's some type of deception there? I don't know. Maybe she was just working late and decided, hey, I need to change. Oh, by the way, this company that she added. Mm-hmm. It is a now defunct company.
Mm.
It's a defunct company. So I don't understand that.
There was also, like I said, people were just sending in all types of information. It was said that she bragged about the fact that her husband bought her the app. The husband presented her the app as a gift. So that is, we had both attorneys on, Pamela
and Pamela, right?
And them talking about it just seems like when a lot of the information was out that somebody probably went back and told her that she needed to switch up. But the problem is a lot of this is already it's already out. It's already out. So
it's called digital fingerprints.
Digital fingerprints do not go away.
And the lawyer also said, we talked about this earlier, when the lawyer said to her, you blocked me on your Instagram page.
Mm-hmm.
And she explained why she blocked, because she basically didn't want any Cardi B's people following her. She blocked me too, by the way. I'm good on it, but she didn't want none of the people associated with Cardi B to be looking at her page. So she said, but I'll unblock you, because now she's under oath. I'll block if you want. And he said, no, don't worry about it. We can subpoena anything we want. Because this is still a federal proceeding.
Right.
You're still under oath. So she, there may be a time when she has to come back in, and now while husband's not a part of the Chapter 11, he still can be subpoenaed and be placed under oath.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem there when you're running around trying to trying to clean up a lie. And it appears that she might have not been properly prepared in this whole thing. It appears that she wasn't properly prepared.
Might not have been. I think a lot, like I said, it goes back to people being emotionally driven, right? So all those all those statements are emotionally driven because you're angry and you're trying to fight back. But a good attorney should make sure that your client understands the consequences of responding online emotionally, right? And that's a problem. That's how people get hung up all the time, what they're saying and doing on social media. You mentioned Thug and Gunna and that Rico case that was happening here. The Thug is still, a part of. A lot of what they were able to get is from their lyrics, and then also following people on social media. There are departments specifically instructed to watch social media. You guys know weeks ago, Boosie was arrested. And that was because on his social media, he was seen with a gun, and he's, a felon, so he's not supposed to have one. So I think we have to be very careful about what we're doing emotionally, or trying to show, sometimes trying to show and brag has alternative consequences that can definitely, especially with cases like this. But it's just a wise rule of thumb. Like I said, as a publicist, I always tell people, be careful, decide what you want to share, and decide that from the perspective of what can harm you later. You really have to be smart when it comes to that. The IRS is always listening. So,
well, not just not just the IRS. And I want to read. I was going to my Twitter account. I want to read something. I want, for those people who don't know, and it's important, because a lot of times people don't really get into these areas of concern, because they're on YouTube, and they, a lot of these influencers, they think that what these influencers saying is the Bible. But when you are faced with a similar situation and you try to reference what Tasha K said, then you're looking kind of crazy, because ignorance of the law is no excuse. It's no excuse. I don't care if you had an 8th grade education, 10th grade, 5th grade, well, whatever. If you dropped out, it really doesn't matter. You still have to, if you're in that area, you should apprise yourself of the possibility of you facing a situation like this.
Yeah, you have to be prepared for that. And if you don't know the rules of engagement, then you have to hire people or put people around you that do and can give you wise counsel.
So I'm going to read this here. So for those who are not following me on Twitter, make sure you follow me. Pursuant to 18 USC Section 371, conspiracy to commit bankruptcy fraud occurs when 2 or more people conspire to commit fraud. 2 or more people, husband and wife, an employee and an employee and
an employer,
2 employees, a collective, efforts.
Mm-hmm.
She has to be very careful, because your husband's not listed on the bankruptcy
doesn't mean
anything. But if he knows, if you just testify in your hearing that you don't know where the money is, and he comes in and says, well, of course she knows the money. She's my wife. She knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
She knows he has access to the account. Or he may say, well, he may throw under the bus again, like what occurred in the district court case. You don't know. And he doesn't seem, from watching the testimony in the trial with Cardi B and the Tasha K, they didn't seem like they were aligned with their testimony so much, because I'm like, she just said this, but you gotta understand, said this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I asked him outside the courthouse, why'd your wife throw you under the bus?
Remember that.
And here's another part of the code I want to read. For almost all bankruptcy crimes, the government has to resolve 2 questions. Did the defendant misrepresent a material fact? This is very important.
Thanks.
And did the defendant intend to deceive, hinder, or delay the court or the creditors? If you attempted to deceive the court or creditors, and the bankruptcy trustee finds out that this did happen, he can dismiss your bankruptcy and refer it to Department of Justice.
Mm-hmm.
The Department of Justice then will assign a task to the FBI, which is under the Department of Justice, to investigate. Just because you file a bankruptcy, it doesn't give you the right to deceive.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like, say for example, I have 2 Louis Vuitton bags. I just took it to the airport. I was on the plane with it, but I got a bankruptcy hearing tomorrow. I don't know where my bag's at. So what are you telling the court? You don't know what your bag's at, but you're boasting, you're carrying, you got pictures showing that you have this stuff. Here's another problem. They have employees. They have at least 2 employees, and they can subpoena their employees as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just too many different issues. It doesn't really matter that you owe someone money, but if you try to hide the money that that you could possibly, I mean, this is 11. They're reorganizing.
Yeah.
It's not a chapter 7.
No, number one is court, and it's not social media, right? And so I think the laws of engagement are very different here. And to me, it seemed like they were hustling with because their stories didn't add up with the case against Cardi B, or initially. And I have a sneaky suspicion it may be the same way this time, because she said,
It definitely sound like it.
yeah, she said publicly that the husband bought her the app. Now on, the other day, she said in front of the court, she doesn't have an app.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, did you just hear what she just said? Is there a video with her saying that?
If there is a video, people should send it in. Give the people the email address, Dennis, because I got that quite a few times, sent to me, that she said publicly that he gifted her with this app.
Oh, the app that she didn't know anything about. What app? Okay. So again, send it to news at Hip Hop Inquirer. I just want to see the video. I'm not going to do anything with it. I just want to see the video. If there's a video where she's saying the husband gifted her with an app, because I'm not aware of this. I mean, maybe someone in the comment section is aware. I don't know if this is alleged. He might say, I didn't gift her, but there is an app.
Well, if he did, it would explain why his name was also a part of it. But then, some mysteriously his name disappeared. So if he did gift it to her, it would make sense that both their names were on it, because her name is the name of the app, Tasha K Live, and then his name was on it initially.
Oh, that's his name.
So that would make sense. But what happened the day before yesterday?
Wasn't it yesterday?
It was the day before yesterday.
I'm sorry. I lost it.
Yeah.
Okay, by the way, shout out to Spitting Fire. Appreciate the super chat, Spitting Fire. I saw your follow-up. And I want to give a few shout outs. Shout out to I know you don't typically do this, but I'm gonna do this because I haven't been on YouTube, and I want to just pay for Gigi. I see you out there, Gigi. Gigi, I looked at your video, Gigi. Thank you, Gigi. It was very, very informative. It was hilarious, as a matter of fact. The breakdown was up. It was okay, but I appreciate the love. Christal, you have anything else? Because I do want to bring some records up, but I got to make sure. Hold on one second, guys. I'm not trying to expose anyone's. This is what Cardi's attorney. I want you guys to look at this. Make sure this is. Not this one. No, we're taking that away. I'm sorry. This is Cardi's attorney. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
This is a motion that he filed. And his name is James Jimmy Moon. And this is his contact information. This is Cardi's attorney. So you can screenshot, that's Cardi's attorney. And there's some things that he has asked them to preserve, but I just want to put this here. Just put this here because, sometimes, share some information. Hold on. I'm trying to get this off the screen. Christal, still there, Christal?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, okay. All right, so that's Cardi's attorney. And she has a series of attorneys. She has Lisa Moore, she has Sarah Mott, she has Lisa Don't Kill Me, but her husband as well, and then she had Mr. Moon. And it was interesting that Lisa Lisa's husband, and Sarah were listed in her bankruptcy when she never hired those attorneys. But the interesting thing is she had a bankruptcy attorney helping her file this. Why
Mm,
did he ask her the questions? Why are you listing this? Isn't that kind of bizarre?
that is weird. That's strange, but I think they're scrambling as they go.
Right. Well, hopefully she's getting the best for the money that she's spending. Any questions? Anyone has any questions? Leave it in the comment section. Chris, can you see the comments?
I cannot see the comments.
You can't see the comments. Okay,
Mm-mm.
let's see. All right. Okay. Let's see here. No, I don't think I need to post that comment. So there's some other we might have that audio sooner than I think. I just got a text message. So this is going to be a part 3. This is going to be a part 3,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll play the audio, and we'll mute out the parts that shouldn't be played. Well,
Right.
I don't think it's too much that shouldn't be played, except for an address or something.
Right. It really is mostly just her answering.
Yes, no, to the
Mm.
affirmative. Don't know. Did we talk about how she was blaming uh, Cardi B for her decline in numbers, like almost 90% decline in her earnings?
We did briefly. I mean, there was so much information. And um, even when Pamela jumped on and sharing the inconsistencies in the story. But it's just interesting to me go ahead.
If she's lost 90% of her income because of Cardi B, then what was her content based on Cardi B? Because then 90% is a lot. So what about the other stories she's been doing? So if Cardi attributed to 90% of her income, what was her content really worth to the her content was worth 10%?
I don't think anybody believes that because she's obviously has a strong following,
She has it.
supporting her,
Of course she
so
has. And I don't think the trustee cared about that much anyway. But
no.
it was interesting.
Interesting. It's an interesting, but like I said, I feel like she's just kind of scrambling in the moment. You know what I mean? And I think she's a very smart woman. So I'm surprised but there's another saying that people have, like a lot of times people handle their business like a hustle, and it feels that way. You're just kind of figuring it out as you go along, which is not going to work with a court of law.
Yeah, and to her defense, this is not something that she's familiar with. She's not. Well, I don't know. She had some interactions with the feds with R. Kelly's case,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
so they should at least gave her a training, some type of training. Listen,
Well, I think that was a slap on the wrist. That was a slap on the wrist compared to this, but the public perception of that one was different because even though it was what she did was wrong, people really wanted to see R. Kelly held accountable. So I think they kind of felt like the end justified the means. But in this situation, not so much.
not so much. Lastly, I want to talk about Yusef Salam, who was just um, he's going to be the next councilman for Harlem. He's one of the Central Park Five.
Mm-hmm.
In the 80s, he went to jail because of accusation made by a jogger in Central Park. He's also, along with the other members of the Central Park Five, was targeted by the former president with an ad that was taken out, basically calling for the death of him. So, isn't this crazy that he's now ascended to a councilman in New York in Harlem,
Mm-hmm.
and the former president is on the other end of the spectrum now?
Yeah. Um, I saw that, and that story just is, even though we've celebrated them there, and they got their day in court, they won the settlement. It still is just heartbreaking because money doesn't replace time, and it's just hard to see, but it's beautiful seeing that full circle. And I think that him being representative for Harlem would be great for that community there. But it just is, I don't know, Dennis, that's still heartbreaking because it's like, this is great, but those men lost their livelihood, and there's no way, no amount of money that can.
Well, they actually but they also received a sizable.
They did, but I'm just saying money doesn't
I
replace
know.
time. Yeah.
The other problem I had with this story is that the mayor of New York, Eric Adams,
Mm-hmm.
did not even reach out and congratulate him. And during the time of this, he was an NYPD officer. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of ironic that something as major as this, and you have a mayor who was a former cop in New York that didn't recognize that accomplishment by Councilman Salim. I can say Councilman Salim because he has 50%. He has a high percentage of the votes. He's pretty much going to take office.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that that's a reminder for I almost forgot that what they went through, and every time I think about that, and I remember the moment in the time when that hit
The news.
the news,
Yeah.
and it was like, wow, calling for the death of them, and they were innocent, and he's yet to apologize.
Yeah, to apologize because I feel like with the mayor and everyone that was involved at that time, their apologies, it almost is like it's proof, it's solid proof, it's tangible proof that that system was corrupt and they were a part of a corrupt system. And it's unfortunate that they aren't willing to accept that and to acknowledge it.
Okay, someone just sent me something. Hold on. Shout out to Kim Barbie. Oh my goodness. Okay, all right.
Hey, Kim, I love Kim Barbie.
Yeah, this is interesting. I He shared some video, but I can't post the video right away. I had to really look at it before I post it because I don't know what it is.
Well, we're gonna do a part three.
Yes, yes,
A
yes.
part three because this is I said initially when this happened, this Tasha K case is going to change the way bloggers, you know, distribute information and people digest it. So I think this case is really important for a number of reasons.
I did see Dr. Boyce Watkins on a show. Someone sent me that clip. I did see that, and it appeared that she tried to bait him into address the videos, our video apparently, and Dr. Boyce. I have respect for Dr. Boyce Watkins. He's a financial expert. He used to be on. He was one of the guests on CNN at some point.
Yeah.
And he's also someone that is pushing financial literacy in our community.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that he was being used as a pawn yesterday on a video. Shout out to Dr. Boyce. We can talk about this later. But I do think that if she listened to him maybe early on in her career, maybe
Not be in this situation.
may not be in the situation. And there's nothing wrong with filing bankruptcy because it's there.
I think that's true. And I think companies, we do have to acknowledge that companies, have done that for years. And that's how most of them have been able to stay in business. Like, just very successful companies very successful business people have filed bankruptcy for various things. That's not a negative thing at all.
It's not. And this is what people have to understand. It's there for a reason.
She said we may have to do part 3, 4, and 5. Possibly.
It's there for a reason.
Yeah.
I actually filed and withdrew because once I started looking at the documents and they want this. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. American Express, you're getting yours.
Well, I can say that when I was in my 20s, I got married really young, and my ex-husband and I just got in over our heads with a lot of things, and we did file bankruptcy. It was just a lot happened. We ended up, upside down in the house. Just a lot happened. So we did file bankruptcy. But what I learned in that process is it's a smarter way to do business. I have an uncle that is, just a guru when it comes to business, and he had a company that grossed over $5 million in the first year. So he knew how to navigate the business waters. And he told me, Christal, it makes more sense for you guys to file bankruptcy at this time than to try to pay, because I of the mindset of I've got to pay all these bills off. And he was like, you just need to wash your hands of it. 7 years for you guys being so young will go by really quickly, and it did. So I will come out and say that I did.
People do it all the time. The former president did it almost 8, 9, 10 times.
Numerous times,
Numerous times.
Yeah.
It's how you file, and if you're filing for a legitimate reason, or are you trying to deceive
right? That's the problem. It's not the bankruptcy, because the issues for me with this case is it's not about, we understand that judgment is going to bankrupt you, right? Anybody. But I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of money that she owes, but she didn't have to. She didn't need to. This didn't have to be here. Like we did not have to be here. She could have made some decisions that would have put her in a different.
Listen, it looks like apparently there's a three-card Monte game going on.
She probably did something to figure out how she can. I don't know, but with part 3 is on the way.
What are you doing, Tasha? Listen, Tasha, listen. You don't have to do all that. Just make arrangements, and you can go back. Listen, the trustee hearing is not over. I mean, it's not done yet.
No.
There's an August date, and this is the point. I'm telling you something. Nothing I think. There's an August date. You have an opportunity to correct whatever you might have forgot. I would just say forgot. You can correct anything before they put the ruling on you, because there's a time where all these creditors that appeared have an opportunity by August to challenge
what is said, what she filed.
Then it's going to be discovery. So and it may be based on some of the stuff that's sent in. Listen, they'll be saying, Dennis, you're going hard. No, I'm not going hard on you. There might be someone sending stuff in that don't really like you, and they might be providing things that can harm you. So maybe an ex-employee, maybe somebody you brought into your surroundings, and they maybe took pictures, and those pictures have nice little. I ain't gonna say too much.
This is all quite speculative.
Speculative, but it's time. So in 6 months from now, you can't say that I didn't say this. We call that an alley-oop. Okay, let's see here. Hold on a second here. Tiffany is pointing out. Tiffany, she's my moderator. Is not really moderating today. I just want to kind of let's see here. What do we got here?
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. He ain't walking away. I'm not encouraging him to walk away. I want the marriages to stay together strong.
You can't tell people that. I wouldn't say that. I mean, I would say this: husbands and wives need to be on the same page. Even if we have to play good cop, bad cop. A married couple is one. So I hope they stay on the same page. That's why I was so shocked that she threw him under the bus. But maybe she didn't throw him under the bus. Maybe they that was their plan. Who knows? I hope so.
I don't know, but what's going on with your friend Kim Zolciak? I did see her and Croy having
that is crashing and burning. It's again.
What would you advise them? I would like to say you're a kind of relationship expert. You have a book called The Alpha Woman. What's the title of the book?
Dear Alpha Female, it's not him, it's you. I consider myself a relationship analyst, right? Because I analyze relationships, and I think with the Kim Zolciak and Croy Bierman now divorce.
Is it divorce? Is it final?
No, but they're in the process of divorcing, and they're basically, emotions have run high again, and they're trying to destroy each other prior to, to I guess get the jump on who comes out of the divorce in a better space. But it's just really unfortunate. It's making they're tearing down this false narrative that they presented before and on the Housewives and don't be tardy for the party and the reality show they had on Bravo.
They're entertainers, Christal.
They are entertainers. I'll just say it as that, entertainers. Obviously, both of them have gambling addiction. It's a lot going on. That's a whole nother episode.
Well, he says she has an addiction. I don't
Well,
know.
but she came back and said the same thing and had proof against him as well. So
Really?
they're both going back and forth in the public, in the public forum with actually calling police, and it's on both sides. So there's issues on both sides. I do think this, and this is just speculative on my part. This is not fact. But I will say that Croy seemed unproblematic prior to getting involved with Kim Zolciak. Croy was just a regular white boy playing football. And, just not a great player, but, a nice guy, seemed very to take on her and her children. And and then all these issues with him wanting to, I do think this though, Dennis, I was talking to a friend of mine that was on a reality show, and she says that that people that go on reality shows, people don't understand how addictive that fame can be, that popularity can be, and the need to try to prove that you still, belong. And she felt like it's a mental illness. So we know when Kim was not on the Housewives anymore and they haven't been filming, they're still living the lifestyle of people that are on television every week. And I think that's a problem. And it ends up being a problem because you're trying to spend and have the affluent lifestyle that you can show that still, aligns with what you were doing before, but the money's not coming in. I've never heard of people booking Kim for appearances, paying, thousands of dollars for her as of recent. So once the money slows down, you can't slow down the lifestyle because you'll lose followers and you lose that, that appearance to be still that girl. So I think we need to be honest about it, though. It's not something to be made fun of. It really is, can be a mental issue.
Real Housewives of Atlanta, is this their 14th year?
It's the 15th season.
15th season. It's incredible that people are tuned into people's lives for that long. That's crazy. And there are some loyal fans that have watched Kim. Well, not Kim. I would just say Candy, Sheree,
mm-hmm. Kenya has been there for I think 10 seasons.
It's interesting that you can shoot a production that long and people are just honed in.
Mm-hmm. It was also, but I think what's detrimental, and this is just again my perspective, those shows don't survive. The ratings do not survive unless there's drama, right? So when people don't present drama, I would suggest like a person like Cynthia Bailey. We see Cynthia is not a person that tries to just create a lot of drama. Those people end up being kicked off the show or being said, being told that they don't have a engaging storyline. So it really does promote drama and toxicity. That's how you stay relevant on those shows. And so I think you have to, if you're sacrificing your family at some point, a lot of these people who come on those shows, their marriages end up under fire. Because you have to be able to submit a certain amount of conflict in order for the viewers to deem the show worthy of tuning in. So it's really it's a cycle that becomes very, very toxic for the individual. It's entertaining for us as viewers, but you got to think about what the individual is going through.
And you interview a lot of them for various shows. You probably interview more than in the African American space or Black space. You interview a lot of reality stars. What was your most memorable interview out of all these reality stars?
Well, I would say one of my most memorable interviews is not even to me the reality stars. I interviewed Wendy Williams right before her movie came out, and she was in the midst of the divorce had just been finalized from her ex-husband. And it was memorable to me because, when you are going through pain, I've gone through a divorce, I know you've gone through a divorce. that is, I can't imagine having to talk about that publicly while I was still in pain. And Wendy, you know, is very transparent, some probably to her detriment, but she was very much still in love with her ex-husband. And the entire interview, she talked mostly about him and how good he looked still, and how it was just, it was sad. It was really sad. But you know, I think I interviewed a couple 2 days ago that is on a new series that Carlos King has. Shouts out to Carlos King. He's got a lot of shows that are doing well in that space. And this couple is married, and you know, they're on Love and Marriage Detroit, and their marriage is in peril. And I just wonder if
they're on Love and Marriage Detroit, and the marriage is in peril. Wait a minute. And it's a new show.
it's a new show, and there's already their marriage is and so sharing that with the public platform while your marriage is in a bad place for the opportunity to be on TV just doesn't seem to be a good idea. But I mean, some people they value that over, you know, over anything else. So
One of my good friends, Bambi, her and Scrappy are going through a divorce right now. And we both know Bambi. I've known her a while.
I've interviewed her.
What do you think about Bambi and Scrappy and their separation? And then what do you think about Scrappy walking on the red carpet with his ex-girlfriend Diamond?
I was just gonna ask you, what did you think about that? Because I think there's
ask first.
Well, I say this. I'm old school, and I feel like the divorce is underway. It's not final. So walking with your ex-girlfriend, who you allegedly are now, you know, have rekindled that flame, is, I think, inappropriate. I think it was, you know, opportunity to try to get attention, swayed to his point. I think there are a lot of fans of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta that are very sympathetic to Bambi. She has these children with him, and they, you know, it's unfortunate. I think people really do like Scrappy. I think people like seeing him and Bambi together. It's another unfortunate marriage or relationship. But I also think that when they got together, they were on the show, right? When he started dating Bambi, they were on the show, and there was another girl, I think it was Shay, you know, those relationships start with a lot of
did he really date Shay?
He interacted with Shay.
Oh, okay, interacted. Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to say.
And
I don't want to say he dated, but there was interactions. So she was a part of the storyline.
Okay.
She was a part of the storyline. That was so. I don't know.
Was it the bathtub scene? Oh, no, she wasn't in the tub. No.
But he did. There was interaction with Scrappy and
Okay.
Shay.
Okay.
You know, and Mama D is always a constant presence in all the Scrappy situations. But I don't know. I think it's unfortunate. I hope both of them, you know, can go through that. But I do think that it would have been more appropriate for him to wait until the divorce was final.
Well, if you're trying to get her back, that was not the way to get her back.
And I don't think he and Diamond are actually going to be together. Like that's old news. It's over with. That they didn't even seem on the red carpet. Their body language, it was obvious it was a publicity stunt. So,
but I hope they didn't trick him into doing that, because I know that Scrappy, Diamond, Princess, and the rest of Crime Mob performed at the pre-show for the BET Awards.
Yeah,
and I was hoping that they all walked on the carpet together. But this was obviously, as a publicist, as you know, both of us know how carpets are set up and how you walk your client on the carpet.
Yeah,
that was intentional.
It was intentional, and it came out a few days before, because I heard, I heard rumors that was going to happen. I was like, I really hope not. You know, people were like, oh, you know, Scrappy is in Diamond are a thing again, and they're going to show up together on the red carpet, and so I was like,
wait a minute, will Diamond be installed into the show Love and Hip Hop?
I can almost guarantee it. That makes sense. That's where the storylines go. And I mean, it's interesting with Love and Hip Hop moving from VH1 to now being on MTV. Will the show survive? There's a lot of new cast members this season. You know, Jessica White is now on the show.
What? She was on the show years ago, wasn't she?
Not in Atlanta. I don't know. That's that her being in Atlanta is different. We know her as being a supermodel. I've worked with her before. She's beautiful. It's interesting. Her
Oh, I'm thinking about Jessica Rabbit. I'm thinking about Jessica.
Jessica Dime, I think you're
Jessica Don. Yeah.
no Jessica White, a supermodel, and former ex of Nick Cannon.
Well, he has a lot of ex.
He has a lot of exes. Yeah, he does.
More than me.
Way more than both of us, I'm sure.
Okay, I'm just kidding, guys. Just kidding. With that said, guy, I have a very important doctor's appointment.
Yes, and I'm getting ready. I'm heading to Essence. So Dennis, I'll check
And
on
I'll see you at Essence.
How are you seeing me at Essence if you're having eye surgery?
Hold on. I'll be there. I might be there being escorted. Like, come on.
Who's escorting you on the red carpet, Dennis? That's what we want to know. What's the
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second here. So with that said, everyone, I'm gonna do.
You are no good, Dennis. You are no good.
Final words, Christal. Final words.
Final words. Yeah, I think thanks. First of all, thank you all for watching and for being so engaging. And we're definitely coming back with a part 3. There's more to this story, and then there's also another story we didn't get a chance to touch on that I definitely want to talk about. I want to lead with that story next time. Zion Williams and Mariah Mills. I definitely want us to talk about that. And the way this thing is falling out again on a public platform that could potentially affect his career. So I definitely want us to do that. But as always, Dennis, this has been good.
It's always good when we can get together and we can just bounce these ideas off each other. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. Christal, I appreciate you. If I don't see you again today, I'll see you in a couple of days.
Okay.
I think at least 3 days. But I'm trying to still get out there, Christal, but we'll talk.
We'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk. Take it easy.
Take care now.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
That was cool. I had hit it with that snap. Hit it with that snap. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. I really do. Make sure you are subscribing because we got to have a part 3. I think it's necessary to have a part 3. These are some things I couldn't talk about, and we want to play the audio. We really want to play the audio. So I want you guys to make sure you subscribe and turn your notifications on, and make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. I am back on YouTube. Appreciate you. Bye.